Alright, this is a major showdown today. Cold Steel Talwar 4-inch blade against the Benchmade Bedlam, about a 4-inch blade also. They are very similar in footprint, meaning that you could be at the knife store or on the internet and say, hey, do I like this knife or do I like this knife? They're real comparable in that manner. However, this one is 7.2 ounces. This one is 4.8 ounces. So it's a really big task for a 4.8 ounce knife to try to compete in strength with a 7.2 ounce knife. And I might be barking up the wrong tree on this one, but we'll see what happens. This is Steel Liner's 154 cm blade and nicely machined, 3D machined G10 scales. This is full G10 frame, no steel inserts, 8A blade. This is available for 2015 in the XHP steel blade, but right now only available is the 8A. The list price on the 8A is, I think, what, $130?
Yes.
$130.
$131.
And this can be found online for about $54 right now. Now the list price for this is $230, and this can be found online for
$154 on Amazon.
So you're talking best price $150 on this one, best price $50 on this one. So you're talking about a knife that's 3 times more money. Is that right? And 2 ounces, 2.4 ounces heavier. So you know that's a big challenge. The XHP that this is coming out in will retail for
$169.
$169. So even with the blade steel that's going to be superior to the 154 cm, it still have a cheaper list price. So we're going to do the impact test, and we're going to do the weight hang test. If you've been watching any of our videos, we've changed the weight hang to make it quicker, so you don't have to sit through too long a video to get the results. And I think it'll be more exciting to see them both at the same time. But first, let's go with the impact. Remember that we're using 30 pounds of torque to hold this knife in place, which is just a number we use. We don't want it to be too loose because it'll whip and give it, it hit too fast. We don't want to do that. And if it's too firm, then it might put it in a permanent bound position here, which is not possible by hand. So we want this to have a firm grip, but not too firm or too loose. So this is where we want to torque it. I said torque it. 30 pounds right there. This is the same place the impact plate is for all the knives tested, and depending on the handle length, they're about right in this position. So let me make sure it all works good. Good. I'm going to flip it so it's locked in. And we're going to look for 5 spinal whacks. 1, 2, oh, I never, ever, ever would have predicted that. And I did mean to say, let's leave that there. I did mean to say I do feel the slightest bit of play up and down. Not even up and down, just its movement. I don't think it's even up and down play. I think it's the play of the pivot into the hole, the half a thou, you know, that's clearance needed can be felt. That's nothing against this axis lock. That's just with the way that lock's configured. You might get that. I don't think that's a bad thing. Liner locks and frame locks lock up very tightly, even if they have poor tolerances. That's why they're sometimes they can be deceiving. You think they're strong because they're locked up good, but that's just the orientation of how the lock geometry works. That orientation isn't the same here, so you might feel some tick. Any of that is, like I said, not really the lock being loose, but the tolerance inside the pivot versus the pivot hole. It's not bad. But now, this, I don't know. Pretty shocked that that failed. I bet you're shocked. I am.
I am.
I really am. Okay, there's 30 pounds of torque. Move that. 1, question why the knives look differently. Sometimes they move more or move less. I think that's just the mass or the slipperiness of the handles. We can't make it any more fair than we're doing. I don't have that technology. One more. All right. So right now we're ahead of the game as far as impact resistance. Cold Steel is on top on that one. Now the weight hang, that will be interesting. That's where the 2.4 ounces of heavier, you know, I don't know what percentage that is, but if something was, it's a lot when you're only 4 ounces. If somebody is 20% heavier than you, they very well could be a lot stronger than you. So here we go, we're going to load this up over here. And this is a brand new Bedlam. So we're going to do the Benchmade there, the boxes that'll show it. And momentarily, I'll have this lined up. Now unfortunately, it's kind of difficult to see the knives, but we get to see them both at the same time. I think I want this one on that. Yeah, we'll do that. That there. Okay, Benchmade over here. It's still there. It doesn't matter how far they're hanging out from this. The key here is both of these holes are drilled at the same spot from the pivot, so you have the same leverage working for or against you. Now, we have a new hanging method. Where's my, oh, there. A chain and a loop. What we're going to do in this case, we try to do 4 inches back every time, but you can only go by the handle where you have enough material. So what we're doing, as long as it's the same distance, it doesn't matter, is we're going to pin it here and let that ride like that. So the center of the weight of the chain will be the same distance from both of the knives versus pivot. So it's 100% fair in that regard. So that's loaded up right there. Hopefully these bolts hold. There's pins in my plate. I have pins this way so it locks it in on an angle. So this should hold steel. Pin through here. So now those are the exact, everything's the same. Apples for apples right there. That's in, that's in. And we have 90 pounds, not kind of the weight of the pipe and the flange. So it should be very, very similar. Put that pin through there. Alright. Oh yeah, that's locked in. It's locked in. Everything is back as far as it's supposed to be, pretty much. So this was the Bedlam that failed the impact. It stayed over there. So this is our brand new, two brand new. Here we go. I hope my table stays down. Should be good. Now both knives easily are holding the 90 pounds. Okay, so we're going to go 45. Okay. What's our number? 130, right?
135.
135. 135. Rescinded the 130 statement. Okay. $45 more pounds. Should have got a helper to move all these weights. Where are we at?
180.
180. It's getting a good sag to it. What's going on? It's very difficult for the Talwar with only a G10 frame to compete with the Bedlam with the steel frame. That's why it's 2.4 ounces heavier. This might be actually our first loss, you never know. But then we'll have a rematch with something in its own weight class. Then that will be a whole different story. They always say don't fight outside your weight class. That's good advice. Where are we at?
225.
225. Wow, both got it. Wrong pen. Where are we at now?
270.
270. Holy. Getting nervous. And I'm getting tired. Oh, we're both up. Wow. All right, what's this?
315.
315. We are definitely near our limit on it. All G10 frame knife. Still frame, you never know. Taking a big sag there. Wow, jeez, oh man. This is a real slaughter knocker.
What?
I think, isn't that called a slobber knocker or the old wrestling thing? I'm getting worn out.
360.
360. Unbelievable.
You don't even have to go CrossFit tonight.
I know. Don't need to work out. Okay. I can see my G10 over there is starting to deform. The white color that materials like that turn, it got it, it's holding. Materials get like that when they're stretching to their limit. I am unbelievably happy right now anyway with that Talwar. What does it weigh? 4.6 ounces?
4.8.
4.8 ounces holding
360 pounds.
Jeez. All right. Confused. To borrow my counterweight. I didn't think this was going to happen. Oh, what are we at?
405 pounds.
405. Holy moly. I don't even want to look. Wow, they're both up. 405 pounds.
Bedlam's getting a lot of twist.
Is it twisting?
Yeah.
Oh. Well. Tell you what. If I lose these weights, it's going to catapult. So let's throw these 35s on because that's what I have left. If you're intellectually honest, how could you even think that a knife with no steel in the handle, only G10, only plastic handle basically, can go up against a knife with thick steel pliers and G10. So this is basically, unless we start adding 5s, or 2.5s I have left, or my counterweights, which might not be a good idea. Where are we at?
440.
440 pounds. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Holy cow! I can't believe that.
Wow.
And I was scared this whole time. You don't believe that, do you? You thought for sure it was the Benchmade. Whoever designed this must be an engineering genius.
If you do say so yourself.
Who's not even an engineer, yeah. Alright, let's leave that running. I'm coming over.
Wow.
First of all, this axis lock and strength, let's be honest, is incredibly, incredibly strong and awesome. Although it didn't do that good there, and that's probably more important. But wow, that was an incredible showing for the Benchmade axis lock. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. Hey, when you put up a good fight and you fight hard and you perform well, there's nothing to be ashamed of. However, in the same token, when you fight outside of the weight class, and win that battle, it's unbelievable.
I like David and Goliath.
Yeah. Let's take a break.